From getting caught at a school with a gun at 13, almost becoming an NBA star, to becoming the king of New York's drill scene by accident, this is the story of Pop Smoke. Pop Smoke, born Bashar Jackson, was born on July 20th, 1999, growing up in Brooklyn, New York, to a Panamanian mother and a Jamaican father. Pop spent most of his childhood in the Canarsie area of Brooklyn, which is mainly known for violence. I'm talking about how this hood is so dangerous that in 2020, 5 different people got shot in 14 minutes. So yeah, that lets you know that Pop didn't grow up in a neighborhood where everything was all good. But everything was all good for Pop at first because growing up, Pop played the African drums at his local church and transferred schools a lot. Because during his early childhood, he attended 9 different schools. And with him being transferred and growing up around gangs at a young age, Pop started selling drugs and guns just in middle school. And that might sound unbelievable to some, but it's true. Pop had brought a gun to school his 8th grade year and was later caught with it, which led him to get expelled from school. But him getting expelled didn't make him lose hope, because Pop started playing basketball and thought he had what it takes to make it to the big league. Yep, Pop wasn't always a rapper. In fact, he never even knew that he could or would become a rapper at first, because his first love was being an athlete. Pop was one of those all-around sports stars because he played baseball, football, and basketball during his teen years. But his primary dedication was hooping out of all these sports. And Pop was actually so good at basketball that he topped his school in stats, which helped him receive a full-ride scholarship to Rock Top Academy, which was a prep school located in the suburbs of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And this school's main focus was to get their students' attention for college basketball scholarships. So this was supposed to be a fresh start for Pop, since it was supposed to be his way out of the hood, with him attending a school in the suburbs with a full-ride scholarship. And this was an opportunity he couldn't miss out on. So Pop relocated to Philadelphia to enroll in Rock Top Academy. And all was going well until Pop's dream of becoming an NBA star got crushed due to him being diagnosed with a heart murmur at the age of 15. And due to Pop being diagnosed with this, he was forced to give up sports. This was devastating to Pop, but it's kind of what led him to become a rapper. Because after this, Pop started to write and record music. But at the same time, Pop didn't really give it all with his music at first, because after his basketball career ended, he left his fancy prep school and later returned to New York after getting into some trouble on the streets. Because with his sports career being forced to stop, he really didn't have many other options. And when Pop returned, a video went viral of Pop getting smacked in the face by 3 kids on the street of New York. And since it was 3 versus 1, Pop couldn't really do much at the moment, so he took it like a man and walked away before things got any worse. But then just remember, this was before he had any type of money or before he was in a gang. And that just goes to show you how real the streets can be. And in this video, it was a group of Bloods from New York that slapped him around. But Pop eventually got his lick back on the one in the video that slapped him and hit on him the most. And Pop later caught the guy who beat on him in the video lacking at a gas station in New York and was standing behind him while he was paying for his stuff. And someone behind Pop recorded as Pop said, "Remember me? It's Pop Smoke." As Pop and his boys began to beat the hell out of him and drag him all throughout the store, hitting him against all types of racks and food coolers. Then, they pull him out of the store and continue to beat him. Then every few seconds, Pop would stop to show the guy who he was and go into the camera as well, so he'll know it's him who beat him. And Pop did this to let the guy know he should have never tried to take advantage of him while he was by himself. And this is just one small example of Pop's life every day while growing up in Canarsie, Brooklyn. Then, just because Pop didn't go to the NBA, that didn't mean that stopped him from getting money, because by the age of 16, Pop was driving a BMW 5 Series. There's not too many kids you know who just started driving and they're already riding around in a $50,000 car. But he couldn't do too much flexing with his car due to him getting locked up twice and having to spend 2 years on house arrest after being charged with possessing a weapon. And Pop had mentioned that being on house arrest wasn't that bad for him since he spent most of his time reading. Because Pop said in an interview, "I like to read and fuck a lot of bitches, so I'm good." So that's basically how it went while he was on house arrest. Then, in 2018, is when Pop tried to give rap a real chance. Because while Pop was chilling at the studio with his friend and fellow New York rapper Jay Guapo, but while they were at the studio, Guapo ended up getting too baked and fell asleep. And while Guapo was sleeping, Pop decided to step in the booth and mess around and have a little fun to see if he could rap. So using a random beat, he downloaded from YouTube created by 808 Mello, who later became one of the rapper's close collaborators. And he used this beat for a song named NPR, which was a successful track right out the gate because Pop said that the song started to get leaked and everybody was rocking with the song. And this made Pop start to take rapping a bit more seriously, because shortly after NPR was released, he signed to Victor Victor Worldwide. But the crazy thing is, Pop never expected success with rap because he really had dreams to go to Howard University to join a fraternity. But what really put Pop on the map was his song Welcome to the Party, which also had another version of it with Nicki Minaj featured on the song. And the crazy thing is that it didn't even take Pop a long time to make this song, because according to him, it took about the length of an episode of Family Guy to write most of it. This means Pop wrote and recorded this song in less than 30 minutes. And according to Pop, he said everything he records is just based on his vibe at the moment. But because he said that, he also recorded a song called Drive the Boat, and the main reason he recorded this song was that he knew the girls would rock with this song. But sadly, Pop Smoke's story is relatively short. In the early morning of February 19, 2020, Pop Smoke was shot and killed at a house that he was renting in Beverly Hills, California, owned by the Real Housewives star Teddi Mellencamp and her husband. Because while Pop was celebrating his stay out there, he and his friends were also posted on social media to show the world their luxurious lifestyle, because they posted their view of the house pictures in front of the house and posted the house's address on Instagram Live when he was showing off his new gifts that were given to him. And to make it worse, Pop's friend, Mike D, posted a pic with him and Pop, posted by a Range Rover on Instagram that shows the home's address in the background. And this is what led many of Pop's fans to assume that D set Pop up. But D immediately posted pictures of him and said, "I just lost my brother, my heart, my dogs. Y'all know what's going on. Y'all come on here playing investigator and bashing me on the internet. I would never in my life set my brother up." And the tragic death of Pop affected the whole Brooklyn area and the rap game as a whole. Then, according to the LAPD, Pop was at home in the Hollywood Hills around 4:30 a.m. when Pop's house was broken into by two men wearing hoodies and masks. These two men fired multiple shots, critically wounding Pop Smoke. The men were then spotted fleeing on foot, and the police announced that they had arrested 5 people in relation to Pop Smoke's murder. 4 days later, prosecutors announced that 4 of them were charged in Pop Smoke's slaying: Corey Walker, 19, Keandre Rogers, 18, and 2 minor teens. Nearly a year later, new details about Pop Smoke's passing have been revealed, and it's honestly crazy, because the person who took the life of Pop was only 15 years old, because the teens involved in Pop Smoke's death were allegedly at his rental to steal his diamond-encrusted Rolex and Cuban link chain. They only wound up stealing Pop's watch and later sold it for $2,000. And the accused shooter, who faces homicide and robbery charges, allegedly admitted that they asked for the jewelry and then got into a confrontation with Pop. They got into a fight, and he shot Jackson 3 times, Camacho claimed, and the accused shooter said he shot him on the back. Then this information was gathered from a recorded conversation between the teen and his cellmate back in May 2020. Walker, who was also involved in the incident, said that when the robbery crew arrived at Pop Smoke's rental, they confronted him when he was in the shower. Walker purportedly recounted that the teens demanded Pop Smoke hand over his jewelry, which he had on in the shower, and they said it seemed like everything was going to go as planned since it appeared like Pop would comply at first. But Pop wasn't going for it and decided to fight back, which led him to get pistol whipped by the robbers. And it's so sad that Pop's life was taken from him at a young age. Tommy made it out the hood just from a few Instagram posts. This is the story of Pop Smoke.